leadership program and our new boxes being placed in Maxwell and University College.
Welcome to the first live essay today of the semester. I'm your host, Chris Luther. Coming up tonight, we'll hear from Student Association President Allie Curtis in her weekly campus address. Later, essay reporter Leslie King will be joining us with an update from last night's meeting. And finally, on our first full edition of tonight's roundtable, Comptroller DeSalvo and Matthew Fraser will be here to discuss student organization budgets, and then we'll get started with our campus headlines. Today, DPS announced the arrest of a person not affiliated with the university in connection with 2 stolen laptop computers. The computers were taken at 2:15 this morning. The suspect was apprehended quickly after the incident and is currently in jail. Students from the Syracuse iSchool joined the National Center for Women and Information Technology at a kickoff ceremony in California today. iSchool students, alongside other universities and members of startup companies, are meeting at the University of California, Santa Cruz to help encourage women to get involved in careers in technology. Women only hold 25% of jobs in the technology industry currently. iSchool Dean Liz Liddy says she is proud to be partnering with this organization. And now here is Student Association President Allie Curtis with her weekly campus address. Allie, good evening.
Good evening, Chris. It's great to be here as always. Just a few updates from Student Association. We had a great meeting this Monday with UU President Lindsay Colgrove, who came to discuss at our meeting some issues that were going on with UU and SA, just kind of giving more clarification to how they select their artists and their venues. Aside from that, we also have some updates with the readership program. There will be new readership boxes in both Maxwell and University College. Now, for those of you who are worried that you're going to be running out of the newspaper, or you keep finding that there aren't any New York Times or USA Today, when you go to grab some, you can always check out academic passes online. If you go to newyorktimes.com/passes, you're able to find them there, and you'll have a free online subscription with your SU ID. Other news going on around campus, I'll be speaking at Healing the Scars tonight, which is a diversity panel going on in Hendricks at 7 p.m. So if you're just hearing about it now, be sure to catch that. It's going to be a great start to a big discussion going on campus with diversity and segregation.
As always, thank you very much, Allie. And coming up, our beat reporter Leslie King will be with us to give us the latest from last night's essay meeting. You're watching Essay Today. We'll be right back.
One in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice. 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Everyone has friends. There's online friends. Friends to go out with on a Saturday night. Friends to hang out with and do nothing. Friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
Be deadly. Passing gas releases a toxic fog of ammonia and hydrogen cyanide. Passing gas can even contribute to sudden infant death syndrome. Kids shouldn't be exposed to secondhand smoke. Don't pass gas, take it outside.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Welcome back. Now on Essay Today, our Student Association beat reporter Leslie King is here with us with the essay meeting report. Leslie, how are you doing tonight?
Good evening, Chris. Last night's Student Association meeting moved forward by proposing new initiatives and standards. SA wants representatives from each home college to attend meetings on the first Monday of every month. This would encourage unity and help SA better understand how they can help their constituents. Parliamentarian Benjamin Jones proposed a bill to be added to the SA Constitution entitled the Integrity Act. This bill is an extension of Article 2 of the Ethics Code and will make attendance at board meetings mandatory for elected members. Members who do not attend will receive a demerit. Ben also reminded SA that every student at SU is a member of SA, even if they are not active and do not attend meetings. This means that every student at SU has a right to propose bills and legislation before the Student Association. Later, the Student Association will vote and these will be implemented.
The Assembly represents the students to the administration. But because everyone's a member, if anyone has any ideas, they have the right to go before the Assembly and propose any legislation. Even if they want to change our codes, the way we operate, they can do that.
Last night's meeting also featured two important guests. The Disability Student Union was awarded $100 from the SA's RSO Recognition Program for the work they do on campus. The Disability Student Union will host an upcoming wheelchair expo called Orangeability 2013, where students can play wheelchair basketball, participate in wheelchair races, and get to know students who have disabilities. The president of the University Union, Lindsay Colgrove, also attended last night's meeting to explain how finances provided by SA helps UU host concerts, performances for students throughout the year. Lindsay Colgrove explained how the University Union has improved its surveying methods to better cater to students.
I wish to attend SA, letting them know about seed funding, how we survey, and how we book our show concerts. And every student has a right to give us input as the official programming board on campus.
Finally, Student Association Chief of Staff PJ Alampani announced that the Alumni Association is looking for members to represent the class of 2016. Each class has 2 members who meet each semester on campus with various alumni.
Now, Leslie, the University Union is adding that wheelchair expo, but they also hold a lot of different events on campus. What are some of those events and how do they kind of associate with SA?
Well, the University Union has put on Juice Jam that happened last semester in 2012, and they're also hosting Block Party 2013. So a lot of those things, they also try and bring various artists to campus, get concerts for students, performances, things that students really want.
Do they get a lot of their funding from the Student Association?
They do get part of it. They get funding each year. They get $500,000, and then based on how much revenue they make, they have to make $250,000 in order for them to get funding again for the next year.
And finally, over the weekend, Jason Morales, a senior Syracuse student, was killed being hit by a car in New York City. And I heard the Student Association is getting involved with that. What are they doing?
The Student Association is going to be providing money to Jason Morales' family to cover some funeral costs, and they're also sending a card.
All right, thank you very much, Leslie. When we come back, we'll have our first edition of our weekly roundtable. Don't go away.
Mike's so dead.
Yeah, it's totally gay. You know, you really shouldn't say that. Say what? Well, say that something's gay when you mean it's bad. It's insulting. What if every time something was bad, everybody said, oh, that's so girl wearing a skirt as a top? Those are cute jeans, though. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Spirit, we're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today.
All those boys are much too much. Those boys.
My dad's one of the producers here
Bring this week.
Visit literacy.gov.
And we're back with our Student Association Roundtable. Joining us is SA Comptroller Stephen DeSalvo and SA Finance Board Member Matthew Fraser. Now, gentlemen, I'll start with you, Stephen. This weekend is the deadline for student organizations to turn in their budgets. So how big is the SA budget this year?
I actually don't have the final numbers yet, but usually we're looking at around between 2.4 and 2.7 million for the year. So that gets split up between this semester's process and next semester's process. So probably this semester we're looking at around 1.6 to 1.8 million to give away.
Is there any big changes in the budget that is happening this year as opposed to last year? Any big changes from semester to semester that we're looking at?
I think one of the biggest changes is that we're going to have more money available this year, given that we didn't spend all of the money we had last year. So we're getting a significant rollover.
So you guys are thinking of expanding then definitely how much you give out this semester as opposed to last semester?
Certainly. There should definitely be more available, which is always great for organizations because we always get more in requests than we have to give out.
Now, every semester, who usually demands most of the budget?
Most of the budget is demanded, at least in the spring semester, by the operating groups that only submit once per year, as well as University Union, the programming board. Mainly because of the nature of their concerts and things like that. It's much more expensive to do those types of events than what other groups request.
Now, Matt, you are on the finance board, correct? Now tell me a little bit about the finance board and how they operate within the student association.
Basically, we just come together and just look at the budgets. Basically, look at a few things, main points in the budgets to see if they're okay. And we come together and approve a budget or deny it, of course, and just basically focus more on, I guess, proof of cost, make sure that's there, make sure the dates match, and make sure the proof of venue, proof of artists, if they're going to have an artist for the event or organization. So just more things like that we focus on to see if we can approve the budget or not.
And how do you kind of go about, what is the process? Now, I know the finance board probably gets together and discusses it, but how do you go about approving each budget?
Basically, just take each budget one at a time, of course. Just look from top to bottom. Look at the dates of when the program's going to happen or event. Look at the description, the past history of what they've done last semester, prior semesters. See if it was successful or not, and just make sure the main points that I mentioned before are there.
So how long does it usually take to do something like this? What is
not too long. I guess it kind of depends, but more of like 10, 15 minutes, depending on if it's a controversial budget. Maybe we need to think more into it, but not too long.
So we allocate about a week to our whole deliberations process. We'll usually get about 200 budgets, and we give about, like he said, for most budgets, 10 minutes each, and we spend a week until we're all done.
And what is the comptroller's role in all of this? How do you kind of factor in?
My main role is to, one, collect all the budgets, figure out what we're doing and how much we have to give out, and making sure that the finance board members are doing their job and following the codes.
Stephen DeSalvo, Matthew Fraser, thank you for joining us, and we also thank Allie Curtis, for being here tonight. And that will conclude this edition of SA Today. Be great, Syracuse.
Thanks for having us.
Glad you guys got going.